Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Good morning. So, hope everybody rising, shining, have an amazing day starting off, whatever time it is. So, I guess we'll jump right into it. I tell you, I don't like politics, but I'm gonna try to express what's on my mind right now. I'm gonna let y'all know I don't like listen to every single word. I listen to a certain amount and then my spirit is like stop right there. So first and foremost, excuse my nose, there's a lot of corruption, as we already know, that's going on. All right, however, I do vouch for Trump. Okay, I need y'all to understand that I vouch for Trump. Wanna know why I vouch for Trump? Because I'd rather deal with someone that's gonna be honest. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, everybody got their stuff with them. No one's perfect. But however, one thing about this man, he always have been truthful for the most part of how he handled himself. That could be very vulgar and some other crazy stuff. But he never shunned from it, okay? For the most part. Again, no one's perfect. Then we gotta go to like Kamala. Kamala, you know, hey, names, words. I'm not the best with names. Anyway, anywho, so I'm gonna just state this. With this tariff stuff, I already explained myself on that situation, but apparently I need to elaborate a little bit more. So what is going on is we're going back to natural sources. Okay, and we're going back to the point of minimizing, because guess what? Say for example, let's look at cars. And a lot of these companies over the world, people buy too many vehicles, and then what happened is that they don't sell them. Now these vehicles are thrown to the side and just sitting around, wasting parts, wasting material. Okay, we're doing too much overspending. People are having too many products and not enough for buyers. Okay, that goes for everything. When it comes to jobs, I know right now y'all concerned about jobs, but then you got to look at it. How many presidents does it take to know that y'all allowed the jobs to go to other countries before you knew that jobs went to other countries? Because back in the day when they had warehouse companies and like the Ford companies and all these car industries, where did y'all have them at? In the United States. And what happened? Y'all sent them overseas because what, you want to spend less for more, right? You wanted to cut your costs down, so you sent everything overseas. You didn't care about your community. You didn't care about how a lot of these communities, they was losing their jobs. How many manufactured companies was lost? People lost over hundreds of people losing their jobs just about every year. Okay, excuse me. Y'all didn't care about that because y'all was in the consumer's pockets. Okay, because y'all was making sure that all right, y'all know got a heart bad. Y'all was putting more money into other countries, okay, because you was getting more out of and put in your pocket. And then what y'all do? Raise the prices of everything, right? So car prices went from what, $5,000, $10,000 to what, a minimum of like $40,000. It was coming down to like $30,000 for a vehicle. Now let's look at how much it costs to create that vehicle. Technically, it costs to create that vehicle probably like $3,000, maybe $5,000 to create the vehicle. Okay, and then you're gonna triple that price. Kind of understand you got to get the amount for them transporting the vehicle over and all of that other stuff. So I get it. So you trying to get your money back. So this is what you do. You buy in bulk. So that vehicle don't, I ain't the best with math. And I'm telling you, I ain't the best with math. So you paying that $5,000 vehicle for one. So you say, hey, I'm going to buy 100 of these, okay? We're going to get like 100 of these. Now, that $5,000 vehicle is worth about $2,500, maybe $3,000 now because you cut down on the cost of what it was. So now, you got this $3,000 car, right? Right. That you trying to sell for $40,000, right? And this person is only making a minimum wage of $10 an hour, right? And then you're gonna charge them a high interest of what, about 15%, right? And so now that car that they trying to buy, that is that $40,000 car, which they could have been paying a minimum of probably $20, probably like $100 a month for. Now, because of that high ass loan, they paying about $400 or something dollars a month, right, just to be able to get that car off the lot. And we ain't even talking about the deposit they had to probably put down in order to get it, or the co-signer that is stuck with it. So now we gotta look at that. All right, now this person making the average of $10 an hour, right? And then they working at a company where now all of a sudden they losing their job because that company found out they can go and send their products and their material over, because they work at a clothing line. So now their company is being sent over to overseas because they found out that that shirt that they were spending probably like, an average of $5, they get the shirt for about $1.50 for that shirt. So they send it over. So that person with that $400 some monthly payment can't afford it now. And then we gotta look at on the rent. Then they rent it, and see, their rent was probably for a 1-bedroom. We're gonna play right now. The average for a 1-bedroom is about $7 something a month. Now we gotta calculate that. Now they are already paying the $20-$30 late fees on top of that, right? But then on top of that, now they've been at this place for just a year, all right, and they barely can make ends meet because they got to go out here and do some driving to try to get some jobs from these food places and stuff to get money, right? Because they got that $400 something monthly payment for that car. Now they got to spend more money into the car because they got to use the car for a job to be able to transport food to other people's houses, because they got that $700 some rent they got to pay. And then we're going to look at the fact that the following year where they already barely making ends meet, that rental location going to charge them an extra $50 to $100 on the property. It ain't nothing changed in the place. The apartment hasn't even been upgraded for 10 years. And they already added another charge on top of that. Right. Because the owner of that property had to go back and add more to it, because the people are charging more for the land that they own that they rented, right? Because these elites keep having everybody transfer their companies overseas, so when they launder money, nobody don't know where it's going at. So that's how it happens. I hope y'all caught on to what I'm saying. I hope you catch on. So this is what goes on. Y'all been paying so much attention to these elites and the higher up people for so long that they told you to transfer all of your products and your companies overseas because they say you can get it for cheap. Let these other mother suckers slave and be sweatshops where they over here working their behinds off, barely getting paid. Because guess what? We ain't talking about them yet. Because see, on the other side of the coin, so that $5,000 car that went down to that $2,500 car, they only getting paid how much? $3.50 an hour. We ain't talk about that. They getting paid about $3.50 an hour. But we're not even going to talk about how vehicles, materials have changed, because, back in the day, you really didn't even have to have a seatbelt, because that bad boy material, that steel was sharp. It was hard. You could not mess with. Now everything plastic, because they had to cut down costs again. Because now we realizing, guess what, y'all? We can take that daggone car, instead of charging about that $40,000 range, we're going to charge $100,000. But the material of that vehicle is only worth $10,000. So we paying over $100,000 for a vehicle that's really worth $10,000 to create. Let's make it make sense. See, it was cool and all when y'all higher up, so y'all Fortune 500 companies was getting over on people. It was cool and all when y'all was sending people overseas because y'all needed someone else to be able to hide your little foreign accounts and stuff. It was cool and all when y'all was getting food from these other countries when we should have been having farmers in our own countries to produce the food. But see, what y'all do is this. Y'all go overseas and get the food, right? And then when it comes to the food over here, this is what y'all do. Y'all get the real food from overseas. The organics from overseas. And then the products y'all have in the country, you pollute it. Yeah. Y'all put pollution on it. Y'all put chemicals on it that you know that's going to cause heart disease, diabetes, all this other stuff, all these different illnesses. So that's how y'all get these pharmaceutical companies. You know what's so funny to me? How easy our country, America, can end up be able to supply all these pharmaceutical companies, but we can't supply clothing companies. We can't supply car companies. We cannot supply food companies, but we sure can supply some pharmaceutical companies. Y'all notice that? All our pharmaceutical companies is in the States, because guess what? The other mother sucker states can't do it. Countries can't do it. It's banned. Y'all know that. Now, see, this is what goes on. All this real stuff, other countries are the providers. All the stuff that other countries are banned to do, we keep here. We keep here in the United States, y'all. Now, with the tariffs and everything being split up, now you get to see what your country really was doing to you. But guess what? Is what you was doing to your country. Because guess what? Y'all the ones voted for all those presidents. Yep. Because y'all was getting over. Oh, we getting an extra couple dollars off food stamp, y'all. Oh, they cutting back the money for the higher ups. Because we millionaires. We don't need to give all their taxes out. Because we hard workers. Yeah. Yeah, this is what the end results look like. You're getting to see exactly what your country is made of. A bunch of crap. It was fun and games when y'all was getting the little inch. Now y'all realize I got to go a mile. Where's my 40 acres and a mule? Stand up. There you go. See, y'all didn't know y'all was plowing this field the whole entire time. Y'all didn't know that y'all was the one putting these seeds down in the ground the whole entire time because y'all didn't care. You didn't care enough because y'all was scared. Y'all was scared. And now all your stuff is being sent to, is being cut off in different ways. Everybody going back to the motherlands or their motherlands. And now y'all scared because y'all didn't use your time wisely. See, when those manufacturers was going down, because let's go back. Like, before, who was that black man name? Obama. Dang, forgot you already. Before Obama, before him, we knew that the economy was going down, right? Right, we knew that. Before we saw that there was a recession before him, right? Right. And then he came in to be the token black man. The swirl, because he ain't fully black. The token swirl, because, having a full black person would be against the law. Okay. The swirl came into the picture. And so he did enough to say he did something. So he got the medical situation set up, right? But see, that was a setup. Yeah, that was a setup. Because we need to make sure that we get enough of people on medication. Yeah. Enough of people to get on medication. If you notice in this world, really medication is really the only thing that's thriving. Have y'all noticed that? You can't get surgery now. No. You can't get surgery. But you can get doped up quick. Y'all notice that? What is the most selling profit thing in the world, in the United States of America? The number one seller, medicine. Don't matter if it's in a store, don't matter if it's at the pharmacy or at the hospital. What is the number one thing that our country is amazing for? Medicine. Medicine. It ain't for the food. It ain't for the clothing. Because where y'all get y'all clothing from? Overseas. If they put a wall around the United States, y'all gonna be naked within the next 5 years. Y'all know that because all your clothing stores is really overseas. All your manufactured stuff is really overseas. Your main material is overseas. Y'all know that, right? You didn't pay attention. You didn't pay attention to that class. But then you got to also look at some other things. See, this is not just affecting the United States. It's affecting all the other countries because everybody brings something to the table. See, we have things that the other country needs too. Yeah, we do. But the problem is people are overbuying, overspending. And we need to stop it. We don't need to keep creating material and products that we don't need. Because all we doing is polluting the air that you breathe. When these things eventually break down and when these things eventually, it calls chemicals into the air. Y'all don't know that? Yes, it's like chemicals in the air. It's like, how do they say, like biodegradable, something like that. My brain going through a lot of different things right now. But yeah, so it's like these materials. This is the thing, y'all. We need to get back to the original source. Original energy. This fake energy is what's causing a lot of stuff. Sending out products. We need to have companies. You have land here, right? Right. Utilize it the right way. We need to bring back true farming in America. Be patient with the foods and everything. True farming. True farmers that farm. And we have real fruit, real stuff in America. When it comes to our clothing and stuff, we need to have manufacturers in state so we can be able to produce material. Other countries have the material. And they can still supply the material to us. See, they the ones that have the material. And they can supply it to us. We all can work together. We cut the cost down. I understand that when it comes to the fuel, I get it. I got it. I understand it. That's really what it boils down. But we have our own biodegradable fuel. We have our own fuel in the United States. Just like everybody else. And we work together, then we can communicate together. When it comes to other countries and what they have, my thing is this. If every country do their part and work together, right? Provide whatever your strength is, right? Give that knowledge to the next country, to the next location. And we go into that's the circle of life we need to be in, okay? Not the hamster wheel. The circle of life, where we all take whatever our strengths are and provide it to each source. But the problem is we don't want someone to know something because we scared they're going to get a step ahead. Well, if they can get a step ahead, then guess what? Then the next person can provide a resource to get the next person a step ahead. And that's how we get this wheel rolling. Work together. Work together. It's that simple. It's that simple. But no, y'all ain't going to be happy until gas is $100 per gallon. Then what you going to do? Go back walking? What y'all don't realize, if things don't stop, it's only increasing. It ain't decreasing, it's increasing. Prices of everything going up, and then the quality of stuff is going down. That's why we have issues, because the quality of everything is deteriorating. If I said it right, the quality is going down. We are paying luxury prices for cheap materials. And I'm not saying that we can't utilize these materials, But we need to be putting the right tax price on the right stuff. But see, the problem in the world is now everybody at the table and realizing that, guess what? The only people that was benefiting was the 1%ers. I'm not talking about all of them, but we know who the ones are. They're the only ones that been benefited. But see, you want to know why they paying